All right, everybody. Hello, welcome to another episode, another day called life. We've been slacking on the upload consistency lately, but honestly, I've seen too many people blow up over nothing. So we're just gonna go with the flow. You know what I mean? Just go with where it's at. And so this came onto my radar lately. U.S. Supreme Court declines to hear dispute over copyrights for AI-generated material. So there's this dude, let me pull up his name. Why am I struggling to suddenly find the fucking article that I already had pulled up? Hold on. Why the fuck? This doesn't even make sense. Okay, there. I had to expand the page. It was just literally hiding the tabs from me. Okay, fuck off. I have so many tabs open and it's hiding the tabs from me. Fair enough, I guess. Should delete some tabs. Too many fucking tabs. Alright, let me just go through this so I can. This is fucking stupid. Alright. Finally it is now appearing. No, it's not. Alright, whatever. Doing it the gay way. Boom, boom. I have no idea how many times the window like shrunk and like expanded in that moment, but yeah, here we go. Case background. The decision centers around Thaler versus Perlmutter, in which computer scientist Stephen Thaler sought copyright protection for an image created autonomously by his AI system, DeBus, titled A Recent Entrance to Paradise. Which is quite aptly named, honestly, but yeah. And so Thaler argued that as creator of the AI, he should be considered the author of its output. The U.S. Copyright Office rejected the application, stating that copyright requires human authorship. Lower courts, including the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, upheld this ruling, emphasizing that human authorship is a bedrock requirement of copyright. So I guess let's just start there, Emil. What do you think about that? Thaler versus Perlmutter case.
I mean, I think we do need to uphold some kind of a human being the author of things, because we could get like entirely like 2-hour long AI movies, and people could just. I feel like we'd start getting flooded with more AI slop if we cross that road.
Yes. Reasonable concern. I do agree. It's a very reasonable concern. We don't want this AI soulless slop that we're seeing invade. Some of it's funny though, but I think the ones that are funny are the ones that really are like creative uses, though. To be quite honest.
I mean, sure, funny. But I think the content itself shouldn't be copyrighted. Of course, that might cause it might cause some kind of a loss for whoever's showing it, because I imagine being uncopyrighted, it's impossible to stop people from spreading it and watching it on unmonetized sources. But it's AI. I mean, what work did you really do?
The fact that you can't copyright it, that does mean you can't profit off of it, right? Or does that mean you can?
So the actual method I would use to profit off of AI would be to use a separate platform that, and then the platform is where you pay rather than the content itself. So like you like instead of like selling a show on like Amazon or something, you'd be buying a subscription to a platform instead that happens to show the videos. That I would use a method like that, and you could still gain money off of it. Of course, you couldn't realistically stop people from pirating it. I mean, you could, but you know, it'll happen.
Sure.
Of course, it'll happen with literally anything. But
so
you know,
I guess
it'll be harder to crack down on. You know.
To get to the weeds of why I really care. I mean, first of all, let's just say this. This is a good thing for the art world, for us as humans, for us as actual creators, because AI cannot actually create. I mean, to the extent that it creates, it's because we gave it the force of will to create, right? So,
Sure.
That's not an actually inherently creative process. So this is definitely a big win. Makes sense. This fucking Thaler dude is a bit of an egotistical guy, a bit of a narcissist to be thinking that he made this image and so he should be able to copyright it. But no. But no. My main concern with all of this. Let's get to the heart of the matter here. You know our channel uses AI-generated slop thumbnails. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, now the audience knows too. And you've seen what that process looks like on my end. Like, you've watched the arguably creative process that I go through in order to churn out these thumbnails. And so, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, by me having these thumbnails, there couldn't possibly be a situation where somebody comes along and says that you can't monetize, because I'm using AI to transform probably a lot of, and I'll be straightforward, I'm probably am taking some copyrighted imagery. I don't think I've done it recently. I think I've done a good job of just taking a lot of public images, but I do feel at some point it's going to get to a point where I dip my toes into taking from a copyrighted source, right? And if I'm using AI to basically smash together a bunch of images that I curated and then ask for it to do specific things, I mean, I'm essentially asking it to like create the vision that is in my mind that I otherwise would not be able to do, or at least if I was able to do it, the amount of man hours it would take for me to do it would just simply be
Yeah, well, we'd have to have a separate dedicated artist just to do the thumbnails, which,
Right.
I mean, we don't have.
Don't have the money, don't have the time. So I gotta do with what I gotta do with the technology I got here, right? And so what I'm trying to say is that could I still make money off of my YouTube channel while having these AI slop thumbnails?
I mean, obviously, because you're not monetizing the thumbnails. You're not Imager or something.
Right,
It's like,
okay.
because it's the content of the videos themselves.
Okay, I see. Okay. Yeah, alright. That was my only problem, honestly. I mean, if there's literally no fucking issues, then I'm quite happy. Other than with the small caveat that I probably outlined that could possibly nail us in the future, you know. If someone wanted to, like, take down our video, if there was, like, a piece of imagery that was, like, reminded them of something they created, you know what I mean? But I think with AI, I will have done a transformative enough job because of my creative human input to essentially offset those future potential lawsuits that might come my way. You know what I'm saying?
I imagine if you used something that includes a copyright specific enough to include things that are like or similar, you know, you might run into that. Like with the Palmon, Pal World, that stuff with the I mean, Nintendo tried, right?
I think
But
they
I
failed,
imagine
actually.
they did.
Right.
But I imagine you could encounter stuff like that. But of course, I do want to point out that they tried and failed, but that involved a lot of bureaucracy and court stuff that we wouldn't be able to afford. So they'd roll right over us if it did happen.
Well,
Like,
no, they
like
roll right
lawyers.
over us right now when we have no power. But because we have no power, I can guarantee you they're not even going to send a lawsuit our way anyway. So
Sure.
it's only going to be when we have power and we have money that we see those lawsuits, and at that point, it's like, well, shit, we can just fight it. And I know we can because we do have the legal grounding. And honestly, any lawyer who's listening who wants to eventually take up that case one day, free money over here, by the way, right? That's an easy fucking lawsuit to beat down into the ground. So yeah, no, I guess, that's all I really had to say. Big win for the human spirit, though. Otherwise, when you hear about this recent decision for the Supreme Court to decline hearing the case,
They declined even hearing it.
yeah, they left it to the lower courts. I think, yeah. I don't think it's really that. I mean, we have to go through the debate, just a quote-unquote debate, to go through the debate, but this one feels pretty intuitive. I feel like it's a real easy issue to kind of understand and wrap your mind around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean they want to monetize.
Shit.
I mean, I get wanting to monetize code, but this is a lot more than just code they're trying to monetize.
Yeah, I would argue.
I also want to point out that they're not just trying to monetize code, because they're, by monetizing what it outputs, they're also in some form monetizing what they put into it, which is sketchy, because they they take things from like actual books, or research papers. We don't actually know where they get their sources from, and they'd essentially be monetizing those too, which is an issue.
So, I guess with that out of the way, I just kind of want to quickly address some of the comments out there. If all you have to say to me is an ad hom attack, you are a fucking insect to me, and I will crush you under my boot. I'm sorry, the Antichrist devil side of me came out, Emil. I meant to say something totally not that, but it's just what came out of me.
I'm gonna point out that
I will crush you under my boot.
In some cases, these people that are using the ad hom attacks, they're just they're so overwhelmed by the amount of things they see that's wrong with what you're saying that they can't.
No.
They can't even conceive of a place to start.
They're so overwhelmed with how wrong they are that they don't know where to start.
What I'm saying is, to be so unwilling to engage in a conversation that you're just going to be like, you're stupid.
I think that's
coward behavior.
Yeah, it's coward behavior. Thank you. I think it's definitely coward behavior.
I mean, I am all for somebody having long debates about exactly every place that we're wrong, because that would be a constructive discussion.
Right.
You can you tell us all about how we're wrong in like 1,000 ways.
It
but,
improves the
just saying,
conversation,
like,
actually.
yeah, but just saying you're stupid. Well, that's nothing. There's nothing there.
Nothing,
It's
literally.
useless.
Absolutely useless. You can probably understand why I felt like I needed to say what I said then. I won't I won't crush the person, but I will crush that spirit one day. I swear to God, I shit you not, Emil. You have to imagine a future where hate speech laws are gonna get a lot more targeted. You know what I mean?
It's like the mad ramblings of a mortal angry at God for taking Job's sheep.
I'm sorry, say that again? I don't know why you said it, but it felt loaded, and I need to hear it again. You just made a biblical reference for no reason, my nigga. It's like taking...
It sounds like the mad ramblings of a mortal angry at God for taking Job's sheep.
Holy shit, that was very well said. Beautifully said. Because, yeah, it strokes my ego a little bit, but beautifully said, my friend. Yeah, no. So anyone who thinks, I'm crazy, just know that they're the ones... They had to kill Jesus. Because what he said was so powerful, they had to kill him. That's the equivalent of what they're trying to do, right? If they can't physically kill me, they're gonna assassinate my character, right? Which is why they say, oh, he's crazy. It's actually kind of a way of saying that, like, you should die. Because it's cowardice. It's you're not dealing with their words. And you only go to resort to kill someone if, like, you can no longer deal with what they're saying, right? Or doing, I guess. But actions have beliefs behind them and words, therefore. So, take that for what you will. I think that wraps up all my thoughts. Any last thoughts, or is that it? I'm pretty sure that's it for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, everybody. Peace out. We'll see y'all next time.